I'm here in the studio for Artists for a Better World with Lauren Dohring. She's an incredible painter, and she does a lot of portraits as well. And I'm very happy to say that you're here to tell us, the artists, a few tips about how you got started and your story.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Sure. And so how did you get started? Because I know most people go to art college forever and they, go traveling and all that. You've been traveling. But how did you get started in the arts? Because you have 4 kids, don't you?
I do. It definitely started a lot before I had kids, though.
Right.
I always loved beautiful pictures, and I remember being a young kid, and I loved to read, but my favorite books were the ones that had the best illustrations.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like, I just want to look at those beautiful pictures, and they just brought the story to life. And when I look back at that, I realized that was art bringing more art into a way that people could understand it. So you have this great story, but you also have these beautiful images, and just that feeling I would get when I'd look at pictures that I just thought were amazing. That really connected with me, and I knew that was something I wanted to be able to do too. I want to make beautiful pictures. Some kids want to get on the stage and sing and act, and that was not for me, but making art seemed really cool. So that was sort of my first inspiration, and then I really got interested. My mom had Rembrandt books and Norman Rockwell. Those were some of my early inspirations, and just looking through these pictures, like, people can make that, people can do that, and so that inspired me to just start copying things out of books. I'd get these little art books, and the draw 50 animals.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to start.
Starting with your shapes and all of that, and it progressed from there. But really, the underlying thing was I loved that feeling that I got when I saw really great art, and I wanted to create that for somebody else.
Oh, excellent. So why did you join Artists for a Better World? Why do you think it's good to have a group?
Oh, it's really necessary to have a group, I feel. Especially as an artist, you kind of feel like you're out there on your own a lot, and it's not a job where you necessarily show up to an office and have a list of things to do and know exactly what you're doing and finish your day and go home. There's not a lot of structure, and I can get a little lost feeling when I don't have other people around that I can talk to or hear their stories or see what helped make them successful and what I can learn from them. And so having a group of artists who are all working toward getting art out into the world and uplifting people, that's a really great thing to be part of. And I loved that purpose of Artists for a Better World.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are glad to have you. And some of your art is so spectacular. We're going to show it in a minute.
Okay.
And so you're a mother of 4. How do you juggle your painting and your art with being a mom?
It is a juggle.
A lot of people are going to ask that because there's artists at home right now.
Yes, for sure. And this year especially has been challenging because the kids are at home also, which is where I work.
Right.
So it's definitely been a juggle, but I think it goes back to what you were just talking about with having a group and having the support system. Like, if I didn't have my husband with his support for me doing my art and helping with the kids, and my mom and her support for my art and helping with the things that I need, it would be much more difficult. So it's really important to have people around who are helping push you towards being able to do your art and make time for that, because it's very easy to just put it on the shelf and go, well, everybody else needs me right now, and so I'm just going to have to do that later. But 10 years will easily go by and it's suddenly a lot later and you didn't do any painting. So having done it the wrong way, I now really just decided first to make it important
Right.
that I do my art, and not just for me, but for the effect it can create on other people and what you can bring to the world with that. So it really is important, and having people around you that understand that and want to help you do that as well and accomplish your goals in that area is super important. So yes, it's a juggle, but we figure out the schedule. And
I was going to say, it's got to be schedules, because it is a business
organized.
in a way, so you have to organize it. But you figured that out, and that's possible.
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking technical details, I wrote down everything that I am in charge of in my life and everything I have to get done, and then I just fit it into slots throughout the week so that I definitely made sure I had blocks of time that I could do
that's
art.
Great.
Yeah,
so you actually have like a Monday through Friday what you do, and excellent.
Yeah.
That's a good tip
for
all the artists.
Yeah, and to me, the way that I work, it's a little easier to have at least a couple hours at a time, because I can't just go and let me do a few little details on that and then go pay some bills and can't help the kids with school, and I just can't quite get in the headspace that I like to be in to be the most creative when I have the other distractions going. So it's important when I'm being an artist to be an artist and do that job, and then have the time where I'm just being a mom and the time where I'm, handling all the other things. And of course they cross and all of that. But as far as what hat I'm wearing at that time, it's okay, this is my creating time, and that's what I try to do.
And you stick to it. I do the same thing. The only time I can get to write books and paint is if I make the time and I schedule it in. Otherwise, I'd get calls from clients because I'm doing marketing. I know how that is. So, and your husband backs you up a lot, even though he has a busy schedule being an actor.
Yeah.
So that's really, really great. And you've the grandmas and the exactly.
Yeah, you just build your support system.
Exactly. And a lot of people kind of give up and they think, oh, well, I can't do it. I'm just, or they think because of the lockdown, but actually a lot of people are going online selling their work. And that's making a big difference. They're going to art storefronts and various places, or making their own website and then emailing people and getting people to see it. And especially during Christmas, we're doing a whole campaign of gift art. Give a gift of art for Christmas.
Yeah.
Whether it's a print or the original, whatever it is. And here is some of your originals. Can you let me know some of the one on the top with the wonderful little girl holding a chicken, a hen. Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, that's actually a portrait of my daughter when she was about 3 years old.
Oh.
Yes, she just loved those chickens, and I loved the joy that she had just being able to hold that chicken. And a lot of what I try to capture is not just an image, but an experience.
Yes.
And like a moment that people can interact with. And
I love that. I love that. This one, he looks like Father Christmas winking his eye at someone. That's interesting.
Yeah, he is actually a homeless fellow that my husband ran into and just started talking to one day, and he just found him so interesting and asked if he could take his picture so that I could do a painting of him, and he was willing. So God. Yeah, his name is Joe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's interesting. People can find inspiration anywhere.
Totally.
And no matter what, during COVID-19 or not. I mean, all around us, and that makes the world more beautiful. Look at these and these. The flowers are incredible.
Thank you.
The roses. Or are they?
Yeah, peonies.
Peonies. There you go. Peonies.
Yeah, that's right.
And then this is
this was actually a view from my backyard. So this was me trying to get out and paint, even though we were, not able to go too many places.
That's right.
There's inspiration everywhere, like you said. So that's little scene I'm working on, learning to do more landscape painting, because I like the idea of the figure in the landscape. People are my most
portraits. You did a lot of portraits, and then you're adding the landscape. That just gives it another dimension.
Totally, yeah.
And I totally agree. And this one with the little girl on the seaside is just beautiful. But this one, is especially gorgeous.
Thank you.
Wow. She's looking like she's pensive, She's thinking about something, and she's got that beautiful dress flaring up. It's like there's wind in the air.
Yeah, it was that one called A Million Dreams, and it was definitely inspired by my daughter's just love of make-believe and dress up and all the world that she creates, and tried to capture some of that with the feeling of her, just her
I love it.
thoughts.
I love it. And where can people find your artwork now? What website do you have?
I do have a website that's laurendohring.com.
Lauren Dohring with Dohring.
That's correct.
Great.
Yeah.
And they can find your paintings there, and also you're on the website for Better Artists for a Better World, because we have a new member website.
Right.
And so you can put a couple paintings up there as much as you want, any of your bio, so people can go to that and see you as well.
Okay, definitely.
And anything else you would like to communicate about art or yourself?
Yeah, well, you were mentioning, with the time that we're in and the lockdowns and stuff, and people can feel a little depressed being, separated from each other and all of that, but it's actually, there are some good opportunities to connect more with people and to really improve your skills as an artist at this time. I've been taking so many online classes that I wouldn't have been able to go attend in person with my 4 kids and our busy schedule. So even though, maybe it would be better to be able to go in person, I wouldn't have been able to. So this is an opportunity to really just work on my skills and figure out what I want to be and what I want to say as an artist. And I've been having a great time really just finding my voice a little bit more as an artist, and just being able to share that with people and inspire others. And I got some really nice comments back about how the artwork brightened their day, and that's really what
that's what every artist looks for.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
So,
you brighten their day, you make the world a better place.
Yeah, so just keep communicating to people. I mean, it's so important to just keep good communication and good art going in the world. Let's take advantage of chances to do that.
Now, why do you think it's important to be in a group like Artists for a Better World?
Well, it's so important to have a group, in my opinion, for an artist, because it's such an individual activity creating your art.
You're all alone,
You're alone, you're kind of in your world, but you need a support system. There might be people who know better things about marketing than you do that you could learn from for marketing your art, as you mentioned. And maybe there's somebody who's more skilled than you at a certain thing that you want to learn. Like, if I want to get much better at how do I paint certain expressions, and I find an artist who does that so well. And, artists are really willing to share their knowledge and help each other. And when you find a good group of people who really want to uplift each other and put great art into the world, then it's important to have that connection.
You said something about a 30-day challenge in art, and it's something that reminds me of what we had to do in art college, where we had to draw something for 1 minute, then 5 minutes, then 10, and then a half an hour. We had to get it down. But this sounds really interesting. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I took part in this 30-day painting challenge for the month of October.
Great.
And we had to do a painting every day for 30 days, and we were only supposed to spend about 30 minutes on it. And the idea is that you could really learn how to do better compositions, more things that would really communicate better, because you had to get the most important things down that would really show you a scene without getting too involved in the details or whatever it was. But so that was one side of it. One of the purposes was just to really get the most important stuff down quickly. The other was to just get you creating. Like, if you had to sit down and do a painting every day, it didn't matter. You didn't have to be able to sell it. It wasn't precious. It was just sit down and do something, and I'd plan something out for one day. The next day, sometimes I'd paint one of my kids' toys, or, just a flower from the garden, or like this one of my daughter at the beach. Yeah.
Let's focus on this one.
I did one of my days just doing her figure here, and then the other day just doing the background. And it was just to really just capture that moment, what inspired me, what drew me to it. And I would really recommend that as an exercise to any artist, of just to have to create something every day, but not put too much importance on it. Just do it. And it was so fun because I got to try things I wouldn't have tried otherwise.
Yes.
I tried colors I wouldn't have used because I was like, oh, I don't know how that's going to turn out.
And then you find out.
Yeah,
that's the way you find out.
Exactly. But it didn't have to be important. It wasn't my well, I only have 2 hours to paint this week, so it better be something great that I can sell. It took all of that pressure off, and it was so freeing to just be able to create. So I would definitely recommend, if you can take part in something like that. And in this case, I had a group online that we were sharing our progress with each other, and everybody was very supportive, and no criticism. It was just great that everybody was just getting it done, and that was pretty awesome.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
We should do that for Artists for a Better World.
We should.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
Thank you very much, Lauren.
You're welcome.